Hey guys, welcome back to another episode. Today we're going to be putting a set of parking brake shoes on the back of our Volvo 850 turbo wagon. So let's get to it. We got the vehicle jacked up, supported on a jack stand at the Delta Link. First thing we're going to do is remove our brake caliper. We're going to get that out of the way, and then we can pop our rotor off to expose our parking brake. We're using a 13mm socket on a 3/4 drive to get some nice leverage to back out the top bolt from the caliper. And once we have that backed out, got one more right there, just below it. On the Volvo 850s, you have a direct hard line right into the rear caliper. You don't have any flex lines, so just be careful and be mindful when you're moving the caliper out of the way. I just took a couple pieces of wire and just hung it off the coil spring. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to remove this 10mm set screw, and then we'll be able to pop the brake rotor right off. Okay, so the rotor's off. This is our adjustment by twisting it up. That adds more tension and spreads these apart. Bringing it down does the opposite. The rule of thumb with the 850 is you're supposed to adjust this all the way to full lock on the rotor and then back it down 5 clicks, and then that should give you 2 notches on your handbrake. You can see this one, the pad is completely gone. This one, the pad is still has a little life left, but we're going to take this apart. We're going to clean everything up with some brake cleaner, and then I'll show you guys how to install the new pads. In addition to the new pads, this kit also comes with these retaining clips that we're going to remove from here and here. So we'll take these off and then we'll get to cleaning. Got everything cleaned up. We had everything with brake cleaner. I even did a final wipe down with a little Napa Windex and some paper towel. Just remember, try to catch all your moving parts. This is the part that actually hooks up to your e-brake cable and separates the pads for tension. So make sure you get a good cleaning on that. We're also going to lubricate this with some white lithium grease during reassembly. Don't forget, inside of your brake rotor is the surface where these pads bite. So make sure you hit the inside of this with some brake cleaner and make sure any oil or debris is out of there before reassembly. So we're going to get into reassembling. Let's get to it. New retaining clips. Slide it over the hook on the bottom. Sits right in there. Thread your 13mm inside the dust shield. Get it on there hand tight, and then we're going to cinch it down. Same thing with the other side. A little dab of white lithium grease. This is where your bottom spring is going to mount. A little dab of lithium grease, and this is what's going to ride on your cable actuator. So what you got to do is you're going to get your spring mounted and clipped into that little tab right there, and then your brake shoe is going to slide into your retainer clip like that. And then on the bottom, your actuator has a little fork that's going to straddle the brake shoe right there, right where we put the grease. Alright, the shoes are mounted. This bottom spring is a bear. So what I found that is if you're looking at the rotor or hub assembly, on the right side, hook it, because you have a lot more movement and play on this side with the actuator. So hook that first. You leave this pad loose, drop it down, hook it, and then you're gonna have to muscle that pad over and click it into place. And then once that locks into place, everything is stabilized. The only other reassembly we have to work on is the adjustment screw and the top tension spring. All right, so we got our top assembly on, adjustment screw. Just above the adjustment screw where it sits is 2 very small holes. So you're gonna stretch the spring over it, and that's going to put tension on this adjustment screw to keep it in place where you've adjusted it. Now what we're going to do is we're going to slide our rotor back over the assembly. We're going to reinstall our 10mm set screw, and there's an inspection port that you can put a screwdriver in to adjust this. What we're going to do is we're going to go till it's full lock, and then we're going to back it off 5 clicks. Okay, we have our 10mm set screw through our brake rotor and our hub, and then up top is going to be your inspection screw. You have to line it up to that small gear adjustment screw, so just take your time and just find it. And then what you do is you take a small flat blade screwdriver and you can insert it, and either you're going to pry up or down to make your final adjustment. Don't forget to tighten up your 2 13mm bolts for your brake caliper. Make sure that the hard line is ran properly, and then you seat it back into the retaining clip right there. Put your wheel on. Now with any new brake installation, you might have a little bit of rubbing. You kind of hear it right there, but after a few miles that'll go away. Everything will settle in, and you should have functioning emergency brakes once again. Thanks a lot, guys, for watching. This has been another episode of 114 Rides. You guys can click on the link in the description below for all the parts used in this 3-part series, and I will see you guys again soon.